Hello, hello. Welcome back. Today we begin. Ooh, where did that sentence go? Wow, mind. It just decided to mount everything in. Let's try that again. Today we're going to be trying to finish up the issue tracker. Yeah. We got some calls to sort out. Mainly I need to figure out if I'm going to use Ajax or if I'm going to go with Axios, because initially we were using Axios to do the calls and whatnot, and I would like to continue using it. There was an issue the last time, I remember. Oh yeah, I remember what it was now. It was trying to submit the form itself. That's what the issue was. Okay, so that's in there. Where's the Axios one? It's here. So we still want the submit function. And then we're going to prevent the default first. So we got that. We still need this, but we're not. Yeah, that should be fine. Cool. So submit. Prevent the default behavior of the form from submitting. Then, yeah, I'm going to do away with Ajax. I'm rather going to go with Axios. And instead of delete, this is going to be a post request. And we're still going to post to, I think it was API issues, post to API issues project name, yeah. So in that case, it's going to be API test. And then we just need to make sure that we gather all of these things. So things like issue title, issue text created by assigned to, and status text. And then that's about it. Oh, FlightX, hey! Wow, it's been a while. How have you been, buddy? I remember the last time things were quite hectic for you. Hopefully things have gotten better. You're a little less stressed. I can only hope. Thanks for asking. What about you? Yeah, I've been good. I've just been trying to finish up the last of the projects. I'm actually on the final bits of the project for Free Code Camp, and then I'm officially done with it. I'm on the second project now. I'll have 3 more to go after that, and yeah. From there on, free. I'm enjoying it though. It's very different. It's very mellow. And what have you been busy with nowadays? I'm working on a rate limit monitor. Nice, for an API? Or... You know what's annoying? Test form.serialize. Serialize is a jQuery method. I want to see if I can actually use it. Serialize form values. Actually, that can work. Yeah, so we could still use serialize and get the data. Ah, okay. So, yeah. Actually, let's do that. So instead of having the data like that, the data would, whoops, the data would just be test form.serialize. Actually, I want to make sure that is all the data. I want to on submit, right? So log the data test form.serialize. Index? Views? Index? Oh yeah. Working in Python, my least knowledgeable knowledge. I'm building the API and the front end. Front end and Angular, back end in Python. Working in Kubernetes environment. Nice! So you got like little Docker thingies and whatever those things are. The system setup. That's fun. Have you worked in Kubernetes before? K8? Let's see. Test 1 to 3, dead, whatever. Don't care. Submit. Okay, there's the data. So issue title. Okay, and it's gonna be like parameters. Nice. The issue title is test, and issue text is test 1 to 3, and created by is dead. Oh, that's nice. Cool. So it basically gives like a list of parameters. I'll give jQuery that. That's at least one cool thing to do, because otherwise I would have had to document or get an element by ID for each of those input types now, just to get all the data out. So that's cool. And it's posting there. Okay, so Axios.post data test form.serialize, then get a response and set the response to that. Cool. Docker with ingress. That's nice. So you could just have the environment you move around. I still need to like figure out how to work in those things. That'll probably be next on the list. Hello, Mr. Deadman. Hello, Mr. Handpants. How's it going with your project? Did you take up the request yet? Are you working on the Path of Exile ban list? Or have you kind of like scrapped it because of someone else working on it? Like I've had that as well. Like I had so many ideas and I saw someone else has already done it. But just remember that you do it for yourself and for knowledge. Even if someone else has done it, you could still, learn a great deal about it. Also, what happened here? The project API test save response got an ID created on updated on open true, but the rest of the data is probably because parameters. You don't need to use jQuery to get the data in one time. You can do this. New form data. Really? Is form data a type? I had no idea. That's something new. That's cool. Nice. So basically give me an array of form elements. That's nice. I mean, not that people really work much in forms, but it's useful to have now. Cool, I'll keep that in mind. I mean, I'm using jQuery for a few other things now, but yeah, it's good to know that. That's really cool. Supported since... it goes back. Yeah. What about the dreaded IE? Oh no. God damn it, IE. Why you do this? That's cool. I'll keep that in mind. I just need to change my API though, because I have a feeling that they were... I don't think they're in body anymore. I think that's what the issue is. They're in parameters now. Let me just double check. Request.params. I'm willing to bet that they're there. API, let's go. No, they're not there. Where would they? Hold on. Data. So Axios, anything that you put in data would be in body. So it's actually in the body. Let me see request.body. It might have just been named something else now because of the jQuery. Let me just check that real quick. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So in data we now have. How am I gonna grab that out? Because it's not really in like JSON format. Huh. Unless Imperium, hey! How you doing? How's the studying going, Imperium? You feeling better now? Now that's almost near the weekend again. You could do JSON.parse. Does it split into JSON format? Does serialize because it encodes it, right? Creates a URL encoded text string by serializing form values. Yeah, right. Because we don't need a URL query string. We would have done that if we were posting as a query. Wait, what are the requirements actually? Watch me fail because it needs to be as a query? I don't think it should be. We just need a post. So I just need to get the data out. I could filter my GET request by also passing along any field and value in the query. Oh no. So it would support queries actually. I dropped one subject so I could focus on the other three more carefully. I mean, it makes sense, yeah. If you feel like you're struggling a bit with the others, it's a logical thing to do. Okay, if I did have it as a query... Wait, query does exist, right? Does query exist? If I do request.query, is that a thing on request? I can't remember. How did you get the... Wait, no, queries were like... That's not a query, that's a parameter. I just want to remember because I'm gonna have to use the queries as well. I might as well figure that out. You can use JSON to stringify form.serialized array. Or JSON.parse. Right. Okay, so query is empty. And that's obviously because it's posting into the body under data. Okay, so we need to change that first before we do anything else. It's nice to see someone in the chat who knows what's up. Yeah, HopeFlightX is very knowledgeable on so many things. I'm just worried what the requirements are going to be. Because I would think you just post with the data in the body, right? And not in the URL itself. So let's try that. I'll try JSON.stringify form.serialize array. Let's try that quick. So let's see it. The JSON form data, see if that works for us, which is going to be JSON.stringify form. It was form, yeah? Right, my form. Are you missing a bracket? I'm missing a bracket. Serialize. Is that an actual function in JavaScript itself, or is that jQuery? Why the hell is it trying to put it up here now? What are you doing, Linter? Stay down there. Okay, what am I missing? And you're missing that. Cool. Oh, but now you don't want to give me a semicolon? Wow, it hates me. Do you have form? No, I don't think I have form. I was just copying what you sent. So that would be test form, I guess, right? So you mean just that? Replace it with test form? Wait. I haven't really worked with jQuery and I don't plan to either. So I'm just following what you sent me. Should I just do it like I had above? Test form? That makes sense? Test form, the serialized array, yeah? Try that out, see what happens. Bothers me that my linter doesn't want to autocomplete and add a semicolon. Yeah, let's try that out. Okay. Huh. I don't know why it responded with JSON data. That's new. I mean, it needs to respond when I post, like that's one of the requirements later on, but... Why is it wait, did I have it set to do that? On post? Oh, I am. Return res.status 200.j. I forgot I added that. I was like wondering. It's supposed to do that. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that all looks good. Assign to I didn't add. Yeah, that's good. It's supposed to do that. Except the only issue is I didn't get the console log. And I wanted to see what it's doing. Weren't we logging it? Pretty sure we were logging it, right? Pretty... Oh wait, here it was. The body, data. What wasn't that? Save response, no, wasn't that either. The body, okay, wait, this is weird. The reason I say it's weird is the fact that now it's seeing the data, which it wasn't before. And we didn't change anything. We were just console logging that. And the data was just test form.serialize. Weird. Before it was null, now it's not. It's not in this console log. It would be on the front end. There's nothing in the console log. Okay, let me count how many brackets we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we've closed them all. You want me to persist the logs? Let's have a look. My eyes. Unexpected token identifier, line 115. Why is this outside of it like that? What? What happened? What happened? Oh my god. What is going on? It just broke itself. Okay, let's have a look. Ignore that. That should be it. I think it just literally moved that on the wrong line. Weird. Okay, we should be good now, huh? Yeah, we're good. Okay, there we go, finally. Okay, so the JSON form data, we got name, issue title, value. Okay, so it's gonna do it like that. Name value pairs, name value. Okay, so it's gonna be an array. Can I somehow... I'm trying to think now. I know I can loop through them, but what I want is, can I somehow... Why can't I think of the term now? I want to say extract. Do JSON parse instead of stringify? Okay. I'm gonna have to worry about that now. We know what the issue was. JSON.parse unexpected character at line. It's expecting it in JSON format, isn't it? I remember that issue before, because it's not in JSON format. So you can't parse it. Did you mean parse after stringifying? Or... which you wouldn't be able to then? But the other weird part is, how is it reading the data still? Like, how is it managing to... how's it managing to serialize? It's weird, because remember earlier it was working when you submitted. And now it doesn't submit and respond in JSON format. Oh man. Okay, so under post, this is what I was talking about. Because I used to be able to just pull it out of request.body. Because they were in JSON format already. And I mean, I could like loop through that array and then assign them to these keys that it expects in the body. But is there an easier way? Because that's what I would do right now. I would loop through the keys. So have this be the data. And then take the name and assign the name as the key, and then the value as the value of that key. And then pass that on. But they didn't need to do it in their example, they literally just took the form and serialized it. So maybe it's something I need to rather focus on the back end, huh? But I've never really worked with query strings like that. That's the confusing part. Because from what I can tell, it basically makes up a bunch of query strings. And then, let me see, it looks like this, right? So unless... let me see something quick. Node extract query string from post. It's not a get though, it's a post, and it's not a parameter, it's a query string, which is, it's weird. It's not parameters though, that's the thing. Would it be? Wait, hold on, what was the format? Actually, you know what? You're right, I'm confused. Query string is when you have the question mark, don't you? Those are query strings. These are parameters. Is it though? Because look, there's a query string.parse. It always like confuses me. Okay, let's just simplify. Query string versus parameters. Okay, so the query component is indicated by the first question mark in the URI. Query string might be a synonym. This term is not used in the URI standard. Some examples for HTTP URIs with query components. Okay, so that's the query, right? So the question mark starts the query x equal y is x is key, y is value pair. Yeah. But then what about the parameters? Yeah, I remember parameters can't change, right? The order of parameters stay the same. Was it queries that could be mixed around, or was it the other way? Because queries were optional. They can either be there or not. Like, you can omit them, you can put them wherever, they kind of just work. From what I remember. Let's have a look at what offline X sent. Yeah, so you're mapping through the array. That's what I thought. And then you just add them on afterwards. It still seems like such a complicated process. Just to get the form data out. Can't we just work with the query strings that they send? If you got to the root and check request.params, you'll see all the queries. Then I think the problem is where we're adding that though. Because when you pass data to Axios, it stores it in the body. So any data that gets passed along with Axios gets stored in the body. Unless we add that into the post itself, you know what I mean? So like append it, and we already kind of have the format, don't we? Issue title equal to and issue text equal. The thing is, that's kind of that would usually be a GET request, you know what I mean? You would use queries in a GET request. You would never really use in a POST request, and you wouldn't want it visible in the URI anyway. Yeah, but then why can't I access it in request.params? You know what I mean? It's in request.body. And if I go to request.body, this is what we get. We have a key that's called data, and inside of it we have the query. Do you see that? So unless I did like a split on every equals and then took the value afterwards, you know what I mean? So I could split it on every equals and then get the key values like that. What data are you passing into data? The one that Offline X sent us, the serialized form data. And this one, let me show you. JSON, sorry, wait, not that one, this one. Just the test form.serialize, which turns it basically into their query string, which ends up looking like this. Like that. Issue title equal to that, issue text equal to that. You just have to unserialize in the backend. So if jQuery has serialized, what would I use in the backend though? My first go-to would have just been to split it by the delimiter, the equals delimiter. But that's probably not the best way to do it, huh? Essentially, if I can just give it the the variables, because I'm using destructuring in the API. Before, I used to pass in issue title, issue text created by assigned to status text into the body, right? Wait, hold on. This used to work fine before. Hold on. When you submit the form, I wonder if I need to call it data. I wonder if I could just submit it directly like this, or if it will break. No, it needs to be in an... Because with Ajax it was simple. You literally just did test form.serialize. And that was it. Okay, so the data versus the JSON format, what's the difference? Let's have a look. The data is the query string. The serialized one is that. Not what I was looking for, but yeah, but then that would be what OfflightX already shared, which is basically just mapping through that array and assigning them to key value pairs like this. Then you have an object. So username, user pass. Yeah, I was just hoping there was like a more simpler approach, because that's what I would have done. Someone made a jQuery.d param. Is there really no deserialized jQuery JSON built-in? Oh no, it's deserialized query to JSON built-in. I haven't worked with it, that's the thing. Oh, they were also doing the split thing, like I was saying, splitting on the delimiter of the equals. It just feels so... like, no, that's just silly. I refuse to accept that answer. See, if I go to Ajax now, I don't know why Ajax versus Axios is different. Because if you had to post in Ajax, this wouldn't be an issue. It would just work the way that it should. But with Axios, when you post, you need to provide the data, and that data will be available in the body. What if I just give a test form? I wonder what will happen without serializing it. It's probably dumb, right? What are you doing? You're literally giving it the form. That wouldn't make sense. Axios must have another way. Get form values. What about this? Oh look now, but Axios has to have something built in. It has to have something built in. There's the body, username, user email, but that's specifying it. What about actually getting... because I could just do document.get element by ID. Like we could literally solve this right now. I just do a bunch of document, oh I can even loop through it. Get an array and pass that on. Maybe I need to do form data like OfflightX suggested initially. Like literally just do that and it's done. I think that's going to be like the easiest solution here. And then I get to use a method I've never used before, which is also great. So do I just pass in the form as the reference? That's like literally what we needed, a key pair value. But what do I pass into it? I don't see, just form data. I would assume you pass in to the constructor the form. Yeah, you do. Okay, let's do that. Then we're like done. Like let's not even struggle. Let's be real here. So form data equal to new form data with test form. Why aren't you adding that? The new form data. Form data. Okay, let's try that out quick. And hopefully that gives us what we need. Are you trying to submit a form to the backend? Yeah. There's responses using form data and not. Let's just check this quickly. Argument 1 of form data.constructor does not implement interface HTML form element. Okay, I think I know what's going on. It's the... How does jQuery select an element? Because that's the selector, right? Test form. So I'm just going to try this. Document.get element by ID. I just want to see if it's a jQuery issue. It was test form, right? Was it test form? Yes, it was. Let's just see if it's a jQuery issue. Yeah, there you go. It was a jQuery issue, which is weird, right? So the keys... Wait. Did I apply new? Why is this... You should try document.query selector. I am logging form data, right? And I created a new form data. So why am I getting a prototype response back? Will be populated with the form's current key values using the name property of each element for the keys, which it does have. Or you can specify the optional form argument, which we've done, when creating the form data. My form equal to document.get element by ID, yeah, that's what we've done. Form data equal to new form data my form. And is it because I'm trying to get the element while inside of the definition, maybe? Let's try that. Form equal to document.get element by ID, test form, right? And then form data. I just... yeah, okay. And let's just try that. Because I've had that issue before, where I couldn't define a variable inside of a call. We're still getting the same response though. Do you call it differently when you try to access it? It shouldn't be, right? I should be able to see what the form data is when I console log it. Oh, here they're using query selector. Wow, there's a lot on this that I didn't know. But I'm just trying to figure out now, why is the response like this? Why are we getting the constructor? Why aren't we getting the actual, you know what I mean, the value of the form? Did we mess it up somehow? Form is document.get element by ID, test form, right? Let's actually log what the form is to make sure that we are getting the form. Okay, so the form, yeah, it is the correct form. And it does have the name elements, as you can see. So it should have created it from that. So it's not the form that's the issue. So we are passing it a form. But then when you try to access the form data, you get the constructor. Why? Form data is new form data from form. Console log the new form data, form data. Like I'm about to just access every element and just post it like that. Like that's how close I am right now. It shouldn't be because it's inside of the jQuery function. It shouldn't be. That gets triggered on submit. We do submit it. That's the event. It gets the right form, clearly. We log the correct form. But building form data, what are we missing? Provides a way to easily construct a set of key, yeah. Is it just because we can't view it the way that I think I want to view it and I should just send it to the backend and see what happens from there? Should we just try that? Returns an array of all values. Let's do form data.get. Wait. It has a get all method, right? So let's try this. Get all. So form data, it should have the get all method, right? I think I just might be confused with how it works because I've never worked with it before. Get all requires at least one argument, but 0 were passed. What argument? Oh, name. But what is name? With a given key. I thought it would just return an entire like list of all. Let us give it issue title, maybe? Just see if it sees that. I'm assuming it wants a string now. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So the data is in fact actually there, and I just need to send that form data as is. So then the data is essentially form data, right? And then let's just see what it is in the API and take it from there. And then in the API, are we logging request.body? We are. And let's see what body has for us. Okay, the API has empty. Data is empty. That's annoying. Because in their example, they just send the form data. think it's because of the way Axios handles things. It expects a JSON object. And I honestly have no idea what we're actually sending. Because I thought I understood. I was expecting like an array of key value pairs in JSON format, but that's not quite what form data is. It's based off the constructor. But the values are there, but then how do you access the values? Because the methods on it, let's see, let's look at the methods. So there was get all, and there's get, there's keys, returns an iterator allowing to go to all the keys. But then again, I'm looping through things. I created multiple options for you to use, even form data. Let me have a look. Option 3 you said, yeah? Form data, new form data, document.query, select a form data, okay. And then JSON object, JSON.parse, JSON.stringify object from entries. Okay, yeah, so you had to do a little extra work. That's better, right? That looks better, it looks neater than all the other options. What do you think of FlightX? I think that looks better. So what are you actually supposed to do with that constructor, in a sense? Because you started to loop through it. Like where's the data? You know what I mean? Like normally when you create a new, when you base something off of a class, it's weird. The data is in the entries, like what you just did now. Okay, so you have form data. So why do you want to use query selector over document.getElementById? by ID? Just for like argument's sake. I think it was test form, right? So query selector is where you could use the dots or the hash, right? To specify between ID or class, right? Just because it's more flexible. Right, you mean when you want to select a class or an ID. At least with document.getElementById you can emit the hash and you know it's just going to be an ID. But I mean, yeah, either or. And then the form data, we could just call this JSON data, can't we? JSON.parse, JSON.stringify. So parsing why? You're parsing... Okay, so initially you're stringifying the entries, right? And then from that, you're parsing it to get valid JSON data, right? So I actually want to log this. Console.log. So let us first see what that gives us. Let us see what this gives us. Wait, how many? 1, 2, wait. 1, 2, 3, wait, fourth one. There you go. And then I want to see what just object would give us. Parse at first won't work because we had JavaScript. Okay. I see. This is one of those things, huh? Let me just see the 3 different types to better understand what's going on. Were we logging? Did it just... let me just turn persistent logging on. No? We're not gonna get the logs? Do you have prevent default? Did I remove it? I do have it there. I think it's because I moved it from where it was. That's why we were getting that response. That actually makes sense now. Okay, so I shouldn't need persist logs then. No, it's still doing the same thing. Weird. So prevent default. Do we have any issues? Hold on, there. It's doing this again! Why is it doing this? Why does it keep doing that? There's something seriously wrong with the linter. And why doesn't it want a semicolon there? Now here's an example, guys, of how dangerous it is when you omit a semicolon. Because now I just wanted to append that afterwards. I don't know what's going on. My linter is just randomly deciding, check. It doesn't want to add a semicolon for me anymore. It just gives up, it hates me. Something weird going on. Linter broken. RIP. Right? Okay, form is not defined. At least we're getting somewhere now. What form? Hold on, do I have something that I'm logging now differently? Alright, we don't have form anymore. Anything else? No, I think it was literally just that. Okay. Now, please. Finally. Okay, so the very first one is the one that we want. The second one is when you're just stringifying it but not parsing it. Okay, so basically what it would look like in JSON format if it was in the string format. That's in the JSON notation. And then the very first one... Wait, this is weird. Are you seeing this? Literally just getting object from entries gives you a JSON format. Do you see this? Why did we need to stringify and then parse it when calling object.entries gives us the JSON data? Do you see that? Did I teach you something new? Maybe Firefox supports it natively? Chrome doesn't? So we just leave it, just to be safe. Okay, that's cool. It sucks that it's not standard. But yeah, I'll just take your word for it. You would think that it would natively, if you're getting entries, be in JSON format, wouldn't it? What other format would it be in? So you sure that it's not supported in Chrome? Let me actually check in Chrome. Because I have Chrome. I'm gonna check real quick. Chrome supports it. It's exactly the same. Are you saying that you tested it on a Mac on Chrome and it doesn't work for you? Huh, okay. No, fair enough. I don't want it to break, you know, works on one thing, doesn't work on another, so I don't mind that extra step. Okay, cool. Well, we got what we needed in the end, didn't we? Thanks, man. And then we have the JSON data, which now should mean all we need to do is send the JSON data. And then I should have everything that I should be able to pull data from. So when I do that, there it is again. Destructuring, I have issue title, issue text, created by, assigned to, status text. Only thing now, did I have it like this before? I think I need to destructure from data now, don't I? Because I was destructuring from request.body before. That seems to be like an object inside of an object. Before I used to just destructure from request.body. You know what I mean? But if I'm looking at this correctly, this looks to be an object inside of the data object. Right. Sorry, my bad, it works. CodePen just didn't work? Wait, so you're saying we don't need to go the extra steps? Do I want to risk it? So you say I would rather just go object.from entries, form data. Okay. And then we need to destructure request.body.data, right? Because all the stuff is in the data. Okay, can we finally get back to where I was like a day ago? After all these changes, we're trying to switch from Ajax. Okay. Title, Chrome, support, not working. Offline X, please fix issues created by Didmana. Assigned to Offline X. Status text. Urgent. Submit. Okay, do we get the data? There's a save response. Issue title, issue text, created on, created by, assigned to, open, true, urgent. And let me just go double check that it actually is in the database. I mean, that was the response from the database. I'm pretty sure it can't fake that. But just to be safe, I will check, even though I know it's in the database. It's good to return false as well at the end of the onSubmit function. Because IE, really? What happens if you don't do that? Do you literally just return false? That's all. So... let's see, where am I? I need to clean all this up, it's such a mess. You want me to just, after clearing it, just return false? Just, why is it not adding semicolons? Why is my linter broken? I'm so sad. My formatting works, my linter just... I think also because I'm working at HTML. And it hates that it's in a script tag, maybe? I don't know. Cool. What was I checking? The database. Let me check collections. What happens if you don't return false, by the way, in IE? Does it just freak out? Does it blue screen your computer? Okay, let's check. Issues. I probably have so many issues after all these. Oh my god. There are many. Where's the one from Offline X? I need to delete all. There it is, right at the end. Perfect. Object ID. I'm gonna save this. This is your very special object ID. You are now immortalized. It just goes to the action and ignores event previous default. Wait, so do you want me to return before every... No, I can't return before everything else. If I did, none of this would work. Also, I need a way to clear the form data. Is there a way, like just clear, like form.clear? I don't want to reset, but I want to clear the form, because right now it's literally setting the values to blank. There must be an easier way. Form object.reset, there you go. Okay, so literally .reset. Nice. So element, it was element. What did I call element? Element was... Oh, we don't need that anymore. What I do want is form. Form document.querySelector test form, right? So we're going to do that. So I can use it in two places. And then we don't need form data to have that. I can just have form. And then I can, at the end, do form.reset. Like that. Okay, what else can we get rid of? JSON data we need. Element, what was I doing with element before? Nothing. So that can go. Sweet. ID can go. I don't think I was using ID for anything. Response. Oh yeah, we need response. That's basically the field where we're gonna enter the JSON response from. response.inner HTML, and then we're gonna add the status to it there. Catch any errors, response.inner HTML, error.response.data.status. Cool. Axios.post there, form data there. Now the question is, why the hell didn't our server respond with JSON data? Like, it was valid, it saved it to the database, but it was just like nothing. So that is that, right? We got there, then we created a new issue with all of those variables, then we saved it, and then the response, we built the data from it, and we saved the console log. That's how we know it's saved. We logged the issue has been added, and then I was supposed to return res.status200.json data, which is in JSON format. So why didn't it do that? Why? That was a post. Remove all commented code. I will. As soon as we get this working. That's the plan. Okay, let's try it one more time. Because that makes no sense. I'm gonna force reset it as well. Okay, clean start. Chat network tab? Will do. Here we go. Title, why you no work. Please work. Created by me. Assigned to offlinex. Please fix. Status text. Fucked. Logs fast. Check the logs. Console log. Persist logs. Okay, cool. There we go. Network tab. There we go. Submit. Okay, there you go. Did post. Cool. Right. We got a 200 response. There's the JSON data. Why show the JSON data? That's what I want to know. Check the log. Check the server log. Check. Here it is. The body data, it worked, right? Save response, it worked. The issue, why work, has been added. But it doesn't respond. res.status200.json. It is res.json to respond with JSON, right? You think it's a front-end issue? Wait, why is it a front-end issue? The server is supposed to respond with res.json, right? Which should have transformed it into a JSON. Network is giving it back, right? Yeah. Could it be... What am I doing? Oh, the other thing also is... We don't get a response from Axios, by the way. Check. Axios.post. It clearly is posting. Then response. It's supposed to change... Oh, this is bad because I named this response, but response is also the freaking element that... Oh my god. You know what I just realized, dude? I'm a Pepega right now. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The server's not supposed to transform the request. I'm using Axios to then be the middleman. You're right. But then it was weird that earlier we were getting that JSON response, do you remember? But that was because Axios probably wasn't working and the server was just responding directly. Okay, so what do we call the response element? There's form data, there's JSON data. Because I like to use response from the then response from Axios. I don't want to call it like res and response. It's local anyways. Yeah. I mean, I could just call it that. Oops, res error.response.data.status. Yeah, okay. After that, it's going away in the garbage collector. I just like to have like proper named variables, and I sometimes get stuck with that. Okay, so we should see it update here at the bottom now, okay? If everything goes well, final test, you better work. Yeah, you can take this one as well, FlightX. Status text, pray. And It's undefined. And I won't even know what the... Wait, I won't know the response from the console log. Okay, so there it is, right? The issue final test has been added. I'm having a lot of issues, right? You're gonna get all of them. So why is it undefined? Response in a HTML equal to res.data.status. Okay, let's log res. Res. It must now be that something changed. It should be in data. That shouldn't have changed. Oh boy. Okay, so this is going to be a front-end log now, so let's watch the console log on the front end. At least we know that the clearing form is working. Offline X retired. Please come back and fix your issues. Work. Oh great, we don't even get a console log. Yeah, I did put persist logs. That shouldn't affect it. It should have logged. No? It doesn't clear the page. It doesn't reload the page. It's almost like it's not... No, it is getting a response, but we didn't log the response. I did console log in my... Oh, in my catch. You think that it went to the catch? Oh man. Do we now have an error somewhere? I'm just gonna randomly throw shit again. Now we get a res. What? Is it because one of the fields? Did I skip? No, I didn't. I filled all the fields out, like every single field. And then in res, there's data, and in data, and there's status. Wait, so there's res. What was res again? Res was res. And I was getting res.data. Why was I doing res.data.status? Oh, because I think before I had a key called status. Now I just need to log res.data, not res.data.status. Yeah, I think I used to have status for some reason. Like I said, a lot has changed. At some point I must have had status in here. I don't see it anymore. That must have been changed. Okay. So then we found the issue. It was basically a non-issue, just res.data. But what about this error? Error.response. It should be .data, not status. Actually, we could have seen in the network tab that we got back. Which one? Post. Yeah, there you go. Here we go. Offline X saves the day. But will he return again in a few thousand years to do it all over again? You're gonna have a lot of tickets assigned to you, I'm just saying. Oh my god! I'm not doing this again, I swear. We need to now pass the JSON, right? Because now it's literally displaying the object. Fun. So it needs to be JSON.parse. No, JSON.stringify, right? JSON.stringify. What was it? No, that's an error. Wrong place. Well, technically both places. So JSON.stringify. error dot response dot data. And this should be JSON dot stringify res dot data. There you go. Have you ever had this where you keep fixing like tiny issue after tiny issue like I'm doing now? It's like one thing, and then one thing, and then one thing. I'm done. Finally. There you go. Oh my god. There it is. And that looks like that. Except they want it in an array, but that's when you pull a project that has multiple issues. But this is what they wanted. When you post, you will get a the object saved and returned will include all of those fields. Blank for optional no input. And also include created on, datetime, updated on. Do I have created on and updated on? Yeah, I do. So I did that right. Open boolean for true, which I set to open by default when you're creating it, because I mean you can't create a closed. You know, why would you open a ticket for the status to be closed? So I defaulted to true. And then the ID, which is there. The one thing now that I was thinking of is, how do you know that they're all part of the same project? That was the one thing I realized, because I don't have a project key. So what I'm thinking is I should add a project key to all of them, so that later on when I need to find all of them, I just do, you know, find many based on the key project. So it's a history ticket? What do you mean? Oh, you mean like a tracker system for like issues? Yeah, that's essentially what it is. So what do you think about me adding a project? Wait, hold on, what is this stuff now? Is that normal? There's something a bit weird, or FlightX. Of course it's gonna be something weird. Have a look at this. Let me drag it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Have a look at this. For some reason, I checked. There's no actual space there, but it's showing us a space. Do you see this? That all the other ones don't have that. Do you know what it might be? I physically go into it and there's no space. I was thinking maybe it's like a new line, but then I should be able to see it. There's not physically a space there. Why is it doing that? All of them have a space, but when I go to edit it, there's no space. Don't mind that. Really? It's annoying because every other one doesn't have that. Previous to what we did, none of them had spaces. I'm minding it. It's bothering me. Why is it doing that? Only fix problems when you have I have a problem with the right now. It looks ugly. Do you know what's causing it though? There was a quote of somebody, which is gonna be like, but I'm a perfectionist. It's what I do. My life wouldn't be complete without it. Wait. Wait, what? It's gone now. What the fuck? What? Did you fix it? Did you just magically just solve it? You were just like, snap your fingers, it's done. Because I reloaded, I refreshed the MongoDB, unless Mongo does something in the background, it's fine now. Oh, you know what it is? When you double click on the object to start editing it, that's when it seems to add those spaces in. Weird. Okay. Weird. Very weird. Ignore that. It really is a non-issue. Okay, so like I was saying, OfflightX, what would you do to track all of the tickets that are part of the same project? Would you have a project key? Because this is all being posted to API test. Do you see that? So should I have a key here that doesn't get shown to the user, but stored internally? So project and then API test, so that later on, if I need to find all of them, because how do you know these are all part of project API test? You know, if I'm not creating them all in their own documents. You think that would be the best option? Can't find the quote. I read it somewhere a long time ago. I'm pretty sure I know what you're referring to though. Something about if it's not broken, don't fix it. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, what do you think about adding a project key to know what project this belongs to? Because right now we have all these tickets, but I mean, we could check who it's assigned to, but we won't know which project it belongs to. There's literally nothing we can do to find that at the moment. So aside from having, you know, a table for every project, which I haven't done, I guess a project key is the best option? It should have a key, yeah. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is, I think it should be the very first thing. So project title, or maybe just project, which is gonna be a string. And then we get project from request.parameters, right? So we already know what it is. So then all we need to do is set project like so, and that should be it. And then oh yeah, so this is the other thing I wanted to ask OfflightX, because I hate doing it this way, but it's the only way that I knew. Response in Mongoose gives you an object, right, that returns what it saved to the database. Every field, is it? From the model. So what I'm doing is setting ID is equal to response.id. Issue title is equal to response.issue title. I could have just done destructuring and been like ID issue title blah 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 from response, but the problem is I already have that in the scope. You see issue title issue text from request.body.data. So do you know if there's like an easier way to do this, or is this probably the best way to do it? Should I just leave it like this? Because I'm basically creating a new object and assigning the key to the value from response. It is in the scope, unfortunately, because issue.save is part of the scope that has the constant variables to create issue. Right there, do you see?
they will get overridden, and that shouldn't be a problem. No, except for, you know, linter complaining. It's already defined in the upper scope. Just try and break things. I don't want to break things. I break things enough. So I'll just stick to this. It's fine. It works. So change API to this update, and then we should now have the project as well. The final test. This is it. Goodbye, cruel world. Wait, yeah. Assign to Offlight X. He's got like 20 tickets by now. Status text. I'm gonna leave it as optional. See what happens. Go. Wow, that updated so fast I didn't even realize it updated. I was like waiting. I didn't even see it update. Status text empty. Cool. Oh, I didn't need to refresh. It was just a backend update. So then let's refresh on Mongo and just make sure there is a project with that, or that I could see project. Go right to the end. Yeah, there you go. Project API test. Perfect. Then I need to just create one more, and then we can do a get for API test, and then see all of the tickets that are listed for that, which is one of the other requirements now. Submit an issue on API test. One more time. We're gonna celebrate. You know what? You can create this ticket and you can assign it to me. How's that sound? Boom. Done. Yeah. Cool. So the other requirement is the get now, which is... I'm not going to do the put now. I'm going to do the get. The delete works, by the way. I've already gotten that working in a previous stream. I can get API issues project name for an array of all issues on that specific project with all the information for each issue as was returned when posted. This will at least be easier because we don't have to post anything. It's just a simple get request. So get. How are we going to do this? It's going to be project name, right? So project equal to request.params. Then we need to do a mongoose.find, if I'm not mistaken. Like a find all? It's just a find. And then we need the model as well, which we have. So it's going to be something like... I think it's issue. Wait, issue, yeah. Issue.find. I think it was the, what do you call it? The query here, which is ID. Wait, no, not ID, project. So a JSON object of project. Oh no, just project, because the key is project. Perfect. That's the beauty of it being like that. And then that should return a list of everything that it finds. And then let's just log issues. Anyways, it's getting late over here and I have to wake up early soon. Yeah, and you said you need to wash some clothes. So good luck with that. And thank you for all the help again. I really appreciate it. I learned something new today with the form data. That definitely helped compared to how I was doing it before. It was good to hear from you and see you again. And I hope everything goes well with you. I'm sure that the rest of this will be like a walk in the park now that we've done this. And in fact, if I just do API test before you go, there you go. You get a nice little list of things. There's your query. Oh, great. I'll sort this out. It's gonna be fun. Oh man. You keep well, FlightX. And hopefully see you around again. Bye. Okay, so issues equal to issue.find project. So project would have been project being API test. I think I need docs. Okay, so we need a callback here. And then I need an if error. Something like this, if error. Otherwise, we're gonna do this. Return res.status200.json. Oh, that's why we had status before. That was for delete. That's why we are using status. That makes sense now. Now I know I had status. Okay, we're gonna have to sort that one out. Now I know where that comes from. Can I return docs? Let's see what happens. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Ah, now we're actually getting some data back. Undefined, open, undefined, open, okay. Not quite in the way that I wanted it to be. But let's see what the network says. There you go. Okay, so it is returning an array with all the data. Cool, so it is doing that. We just need to omit V as well as the project, if I remember correctly. There was a way to do that. I think it was just minus the things that you don't want. Was it in find though? Apparently it's in the second function. You would just do -v. Or was it version? I think it was version, right? And you just set it to false. So like this, false, and project, I think it was. There we go. API, and then update API, and then let's submit this again. And now it should return it without the version. Perfect. There you go. So now we just get ID, issue title, issue text created on, updated on, created by, assigned to, open, and status text, if there was any. Beautiful. And then we just need to figure out why the issue.html is not displaying what it should be displaying. So when you get so it's trying to do data for each element. Open status. It expects there to be a variable called open status. Do I? No, mine's just called open, that's why. And status text. Oh, I see. So we're gonna have to update their variables that they had. You know what we can do? I want to know what data is. Log the data. Data. As long as that returns back what we want it to return, we're good. Let's go to issue. And let's console log. The data is an array. Beautiful! Everything that we need is right there. Happy sigh. Now let's update Ajax to be I'm just going to use Ajax, screw it. I'm going to use what they did. I'm not going to go and reinvent the wheel now. But we are going to have to change things. Because open status needs to just be open. What was open to begin with? Ella.open. Open status equal to open. Open status equal to closed. Wait, so is it open or closed? They're both open, okay. So what is the undefined? Okay, so issue text is called what in ours? Okay, just like that. So wherever we have issue text, and created by is just that, and updated on is just that, and created on is just that. And assigned to is that, and ID is ID. Issue text, was it called issue text? It was, yes. Status text is status text. Created by, assigned to, yeah, I think that is the only thing we needed to change. That's literally it. Cool. And then we go and we update that. And then when we reload this, There we go. This is it. Goodbye Cruel World. Created by, assigned to, created on, last updated. Close, delete. Perfect. The only thing now is the undefined open. That means the title is incorrect. Why? Where does it get the title from? Oh, there you go. Issue title. Okay, so now we should see the title. There you go. The final test. Open. So now if I wanted to close it, it would submit an update for it, wouldn't it? A put request. There you go. It would essentially send data with open set to false. That's pretty cool the way they handled that, not gonna lie. So in our API we need a put. We don't have a put update yet. So let's get that in. Mongoose dot we just need to update a document, which is literally just we need to find one and update, and then give it the new data and upsert it. That's what I think needs to happen. So issue dot find one. Is it find one, or should we find by ID? I think find by ID and update, which is it should be in there, right? It should have ID. Underscore ID, yeah. And then we're updating it with what are you passing on to it? Everything else. So maybe we should just do dot 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 request dot params, maybe? The rest of params? Could that work? And then new true and then error doc, which is a callback. And then we need to handle it like before, if error. Otherwise, return res.status 200 dot send or just .json. Did I just do doc for the previous one as well? Yeah, I did. Docs. Request.params. Okay, so that should be our put update. Oh boy, see a big one now. If I close this now, see what happens. Oh, we got some kind of issue. Let's just check first. So that's the query. Request params is project API test. Request.params is not iterable because it didn't have. Oh, so it must be in request.body then. It has to be. That's the only thing I can think of. Request body, request.body. Check that out quick. There you go. It's in body, that's why. Okay, so I need to go through request.body. Request.body, and then ID is from request.body. Hopefully that works now. Close. Request.body is not iterable. That's the thing, we don't know what the rest of the keys are. And I can't just assume it's just open, changing open to close, etc. Unless we don't do ... request.body, we just do request.body. And see if it updates from there. But I'm just worried that will update the ID. It shouldn't. Okay, there we go. It did something. Open is set to false now though. Look at that. There's the dock. And then it returns something. And now it's closed. Oh, sweet, that actually works. But now if it's closed, we should open it. Oh, you can't seem to open it again once it's closed. Interesting. So what do we need to return back? Success, alert, data. Window.location.reload true. Okay, let's try that on the issues. Let's see what we get. The data. Oh no, we need to persist the logs as it reloads. Okay, so there's the data. We get a document who has an object ID assigned to, created by, project, etc., etc., updated on. If no fields are sent, return no updated field sent. Okay, so returned will be successfully updated. I wonder if I could check the status of the data. And what if I change the API to not be successful? What if I send it to... What if I do this? Will it then not be successful? Let's find out. Yeah, we don't get a log. Cool. Okay, so that's how we know. So all it wants us to say is successfully updated. Do I just say send successfully updated? And then on the issue, let's see. So now it should say successfully updated in the log. There you go, successfully updated. And if it's not, could not update plus ID. Okay, so could not update. That's how they want us to do it, so we'll do it that way. So instead of doing .json, we're going to do .send. There. Let's force an error now to force it to show an error. So now when we try to close, it should say I wonder if this failed. Ajax failed. Is there failed? Oh, there's fail. Okay, so based on success, we also need one called fail. The fail, alert data. Okay, cool. So if there was an error now, we will get... Wait, what? Nothing? It should have been fail. Oh, is it error now? Oh, so up until then it used to be error. So if I want it to work in this sense, I need to change it to error. There you go. Except now it's an object. The fail. We need response text. And what is the response that we're sending? Res the status 44.send could not update. There. Have at you. So that should now say could not update 123. Cool. And then the other thing that was a requirement was we need to update the updated on. Can I do this? Request.body. No, I can't. So the ID is the ID. But then we also need to update the updated on. Apparently what we can also do is issue equal to new issue from request.body, right? And then I need to do issue dot updated on. I think it was updated on was one of the fields that we had. Yeah. Equal to date dot now. So then that way we're also updating the date to right now. And then the update is issue, because then it will be updated right now in this very moment. Okay, so these two are identical, right? 1345, 1345. So if I close this now, we should see a change. There you go. That was on the 1345. This is 2249. Right now in my current time. It updated. Sweet. Cool. And then it updated again. 18. 24. Beautiful. Then the other thing is delete, which is also part of issue. Type delete, which is basically sending the ID. Which we already have in the APIs. ID from request.body. Like that. Then find one and delete. Find by ID. Find by ID and delete ID. Function error doc. If error. Okay, and then what did they want us to say if we're deleting? If no ID is sent, return ID error. Success, deleted plus ID. Failed, could not delete. So deleted. So if it's successful, dot send deleted ID. That's what they want us to say. If there was an error, if error, return, where's the status, dot send, what do they want us to send? It was, if there was an error, could not delete, plus ID. Could not delete ID. Cool. And then if there's no ID, return ID error. If not ID, return, which is going to be this. ID error. There you go. That's for delete. And then we can update the API for that. And then under issues, on success, we send the data, but on fail, or on error rather, we want to send response text and then reload. And then for the API, if there's no ID, it's a 404, ID not found. Or actually, no, it's not a 404. It's a user issue. Client error 400? Bad request? Yeah, probably a 400. Yeah. So 400. Could not delete. Isn't that like an internal server error or something? Just generic 500? Cool. That's under API. And then under issue, I want to actually log what the error is. I also want to make sure that it errors out from the get-go so that we can test the errors first. Let's set ID to be like just a random string like 123. Change our API around. Cool. So we're going to try to delete it and we're going to fail. But I want to see if I can get a status code out of the fail. There we go. So it is dot status if 400. Okay, so under issue, oh, it won't matter what it is. ID error. And what if we put no ID in there? Let's test. Okay, so that works beautifully actually. ID is just blank. See what happens then. If the ID is blank, ID error. I mean, yeah, that makes sense if the ID has an error there. We needed, if it couldn't delete it for some reason. Oh, but that's not the case in our case. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, and now let's actually try to delete one. Let's actually create another one. Submit new issue. New issue. This is a test that Mana assigned to, and I want to see what it does, actually, the creation. The post request. Doesn't seem to post. Did it post to the server? I see. API, when we're posting, we needed these, issue title, issue text, etc. Let's update API. And let's see what the request is. There's the body, issue title, status text, issue title, issue text created by assigned to status text. So they're all lowercase and underscored. Oh, it's just from request.body. I mean, I could choose to do it that way, but yeah. If I do it this way, then it will create it, wouldn't it? Issue title is new issue. Undefined or null in request.body. There you go. Okay, so it created it. Hey, look at that. This is a test. And then if I delete it, ID error. Why is it an ID error? Let's try that again. Delete. ID error. But it didn't even try, did it? Let's see, where's delete? If not ID. Oh, that's why. Thought I updated this on delete. Didn't update that. My bad. Okay, so if I want to delete this now, could not delete. Interesting. And why couldn't you delete it? Issue.find by ID and delete ID. The doc. Let's see what the document says. The doc is undefined. And we are doing a find by ID. Issue dot find by ID and delete. That's the ID. Function. Error. Document. Let's see what the error is. The error. Error. Because there's clearly an error there now. Okay, so delete, whatever. There you go, we got an error. Cast error. Cast to object ID failed for ID at path ID for model issue. Okay. So for some reason it couldn't cast it. Do we have to convert it to an object ID? That's strange. Let's see what the ID is that it thinks it's getting. That should have been fine. ID, request a body. The ID, because it worked for the update one, so I don't know why it wouldn't work for the delete one. Let's just try, see what happens. Delete. Could not. Cool. And then ID is, there it is, 5D9F. And what is this ID? 5D9F, yeah. Ends in F4C, ends in F4C. That's the ID. So it can't cast to that. Which is strange, yet put works. The ID is ID, it's exactly the same. And then we find by ID and delete ID. Oh, we need to return new true, don't we? And then error dark. Could it just be that? Could that be it? Is that why? I just realized something. I'm putting it in a... Oh my god. I was putting it in object format. So it was an object inside an object. It wasn't the ID. That's why. There you go. Deleted. Reload and it should be gone. Done. Problem solved. Wow. Good job. It's working. One more. Testing. Created by. Let's see what happens if you... Oh, you have to. Created by me. Go. And there. It gets added. Assigned to no one. Close it. Successfully updated. Deleted. Deleted. Look at that. Yay! That works. Cool. Now, I probably don't want to test it, but we should probably see how many tests we pass. Just as is. Because I know there's a few things we're going to have to change. But that's the gist of it, basically. We can post, we can put, we can delete, we can get. I don't know about the filtering part. I don't think we're doing that yet. I'm probably going to finish that up tomorrow. And then we have to pass the 11 functional tests. But let's see what tests we do pass as things stand right now. I will prevent cross-site, really? That's like the first basic one, and it doesn't even do that. I can post API issues project name. I mean, I should be able to. It gets a 4 of 4. Not found. Where's it trying to post to? API test, API issues, FCC test. What does our post look like? Project is in the request.parameters. It should have found it. Let's see what our server said. It's almost like it's not reaching us because I'm not getting anything hit on the glitch project. I just realized it's /API test. Oh my god. There we go. First test passing. I can post API project name with form data. Apparently can't. We do get a 200 response. It definitely is posting. So we just gotta figure out what it expects. Posting data with required fields without required fields will fail. Okay. I can post data with optional fields. I can get API issues project name for an array of all issues on that specific project with all the information for each issue as was returned. So it's probably just a very specific thing that it's expecting. Because it is getting an array of them. Apparently I can put API issues project name with the ID and any fields in object with a value to object set object. What? Apparently I pass it, so that's fine. Putting data without fields set will fail. Okay, that's an easy fix. I can get with queries, we know we haven't done that yet. I can put with as many fields and values as I wish to update, correct. I can get, okay, queries won't work because, yeah, we haven't set up queries. I can delete API issues project name with the ID to completely delete an issue. Okay, we haven't set that up. Functional tests, yeah, we haven't done any functional tests yet. But the one where putting data without field set will fail. If no fields are sent, return no update field sent. Okay, so that's all we need to update it with. Hmm. Okay, we can definitely do that one. That's the very least we can do. So on a put, where's put? Put is here. If there's no fields, if not issue, then we need a return something like this. And that's in the put now. So if I try to do like a close, but I didn't pass anything in, we should get an error. Successfully updated, which is great. But let's change it up so that when you try to put, and we add nothing in there. Wait, do we have something for the put if there is no ID? Well, let me just... Let's send an empty object and see what happens, see how it handles it. Successfully updated. Okay. What is the doc? What is request param? The issue has an ID though. How do you get an ID though if I try to close it? That's strange, huh? Where did it get ID from? If I specifically removed the data. Oh, that's for close issue, that's why. I need for... No wait, it is close... Yeah, it is. What the hell? So if I close, how can it successfully update? We didn't pass in an ID or anything. There's the issue. It's got an ID somehow. I don't know how it got that. Wait, I just realized something. The ID that it has? It's almost like it has a default ID. Oh, I know why. I know why. That is because we're creating a new one. New issue. From request.body. We should probably also specify that there's no ID. Like if not ID. Like here. If not ID, return ID error. That'll probably help in the API front at least. So now it should give me an error like, hey, you don't have an ID. Yeah, there you go, ID error. And then what we need is we need to see if request.body exists, I guess. But the problem is the ID is in request.body. So you could pass an ID in, but not have any other parameters. So how do we check for the other parameters if they exist or not? Is it an array? I wonder. Can I do length on it? It's just nonsense. Hey, how are you doing? You good? Wonder if there's a way to check the length of the model if it has. Because it's going to create a new issue from everything that's in request.body. if no fields are sent, return no updated fields sent. And that's easy if I just do if not request.body, but the thing is you could just send the ID, but omit everything else. I guess we should just do that for now. If not request.body. Like that. And then create an issue from there. Okay, let's do that. So now if I try to close this, it should say ID error. Oh right, because I removed the ID from it as well. Let us remove... That's if there's no ID, yes. But if I just do open, or if I just do ID, we're still gonna get that issue. Huh. I just realized I had the muted tab. I had muted tab. No worries. I just said, how are you doing? There is another way to do that. If this is probably the worst way to do it, but where's the post? Issue title, issue text. If not request.body.issue title, or like I could just do a bunch of ors like that until I figure out a better solution. But this is the only thing that comes to me right now. So if there's no title, or there's no, you know, everything else. Issue text, created by. Or not request a body. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to do a better way of doing this. Because I do not like these ors. I'm good, you? Yeah, I'm just trying to finish up this final, well, this specific project. And flagging a little at this point. So just trying to do a temporary fix to at least get the logic going. So if there's no title text created by assigned to or status text, actually open is also one of them that you can pass. Title text created by to, and then there's text, status text, and before that is open. So not request.body.open. I think it's just open. Yeah, it is. Then no update field sent. So if there's no ID error. If there's none of these, then there was no update. Okay, let's try that. So if you try to close this now, it will say ID error. Okay. For issue. And if I leave the ID in, but I don't add open to it, what will happen? No update field sent. Great. And then if I return the update field, it should just update as per normal. No update field sent, really? But it should have. Updated field sent. Unless it's not called open. There's open false under put. Oh, but open is it's a boolean. And it's expecting it to be true then, because it's coercing it into truthy or falsy. I'm gonna rework that. Because we're just checking if it exists, because these are all strings. We could check if it's a type of I'm wondering if I should use type of and see if it's undefined. What if I check against no? Because it would be no, wouldn't it? Let's test that. No update field sent. No, that's not what we wanted to say. We wanted to... I think I'm gonna have to use type of. So if type of request.body.open, it would be undefined, wouldn't it? So in that case, let's go with that. Weird. It still sees it as... Okay, let's see what it's sending to the request. Request.body. So we're getting open set to false. So open does exist. And the logic is if request.body or if any of these don't exist, that's why. I'm gonna rethink this now. All it takes is one of these not existing for it to throw the error. And I can't AND them because they're optional whichever you add.
I'm gonna have to like hit this on a clear head. I'm gonna leave a to-do for myself here. And then I also need to make sure that post frontend index.html, since it has request.body.data. Cool. Yeah, we've come a long way. We can now, access all of the issues for a project and have them listed. We can also submit a new one, a new issue, example. So I can go ahead and post this and you'll see it appear below here. There it is. We can also close it, which will turn it gray. But yeah, I broke that now. We can also delete it and then it will completely just be removed. So yeah, the majority of the functionality is there. There's just a few things here and there that I need to add and change. We need to get the queries working, which we don't quite yet have. So like check which ones are open, which ones are closed. And yeah, probably just a tiny bit of polish, which I can do tomorrow. But I'm happy with the progress so far. It's a lot of new things that we had to do. That's nice. It's not repetitive. Each time it's something different. But I'm looking forward to continuing this tomorrow. And yeah, once again, thank you to everyone that dropped by. Thanks, massive thanks to OfflightX, who gave us an insane amount of tips. I learned a new thing about how to utilize forms. So instead of using Ajax to simply serialize the data, I learned another way, which is basically creating new form data from a form and then just iterating through the entries of that form to get yourself the JSON data. So that was really nice as well. But yeah, I'm going to be off and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye for now.